Welcome to the first episode of The Monitors in 2020. Sorry, I've been gone so long. Last year I took some time off to shoot a video, and then, 2020 happened. But it hasn't all been bad. Since folks were staying home a lot more, Netflix, Disney Plus, and a whole lot of other streaming services got real busy cranking out some pretty interesting content. So we got a lot to talk about, especially now that the movie theaters are opening back up again. So, without any further ado, let's do this. On this episode of The Monitors, we're going to take a look at Christopher Nolan's Tenet. Also, we're going to take a look at Bill and Ted Face the Music. All this and more on this episode of The Monitors. Christopher Nolan has a new release in theaters. Man, that still sounds really weird to say. It's the long-awaited thriller Tenet. The film stars John David Washington, who is to date perhaps best known for Spike Lee's BlacKkKlansman and the HBO series Ballers. Oh, and he's also Denzel's kid. Also in the cast is the often underrated Robert Pattinson, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Elizabeth Debicki, and an always pitch-perfect Kenneth Branagh, as well as an expected appearance from Michael Caine, who I don't believe has missed an appearance in a Nolan film since his very first. Tenet is an espionage thriller. That is a gross oversimplification. It is an espionage thriller with a twist. That is still a gross oversimplification. I will go as far as saying that there is an element of time manipulation, or what is called time inversion, that is present in the story. But if you've seen a preview, you already know that much. Beyond that, well, you'll just have to see it. I'm here to tell you, however, that it is definitely worth seeing. Nolan definitely brings his A game. He weaves an intricate enough story before introducing the sci-fi element. He then uses that element so impressively and so masterfully that you'll be picking up your jaw off the floor. Bear in mind when you watch the film, Nolan's preference to shoot as much in frame practically as possible. There was much that was demanded of just the cast alone to sell the film's plot device. This film is trademark Nolan, and I don't know of anyone else who could have come close to pulling it off. It is worth multiple viewings, and there are not many films I can say that about nowadays. The cast ranges from good to outstanding. Washington himself continues to get better with each new role I see him undertake. As the protagonist, he starts off as pretty one-note, which seems to work for the character, although as the film progresses there seem to be some Ricky Jarrett moments. It could be that that's Washington's personality. His father, after all, is a personality actor as well. Still, John David Washington hits his marks and does everything he needs to. This is the case for most of the cast because, there's not much that's overly character-driven in this film. The only exceptions would be, of course, Kenneth Branagh, who plays the heavy Andrei Sator, and his desperate wife Kat, played by Elizabeth Debicki. Branagh is, unsurprisingly, masterful. He brings much more depth and savagery to Sator than I'm sure appears on the page. In contrast, Debicki gives Kat a complex kind of desperation, and she evolves nicely from victim to something more by the end of the film. Pattinson does his standard good job, though he seems to be mostly perfunctory throughout the film, but there might be good reason for that. Aaron Taylor Johnson is also surprisingly good. I didn't even recognize him at first. The most I can say about Tenet is this. We were absolutely robbed of a summer movie season. Tenet feels like a lot of some payback. Thank you, Christopher Nolan. Also in theaters, as well as on demand, is Bill and Ted Face the Music. The third film in this series, reunites Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter in their title roles, and is also helmed by Galaxy Quest director Dean Parisot. The story picks up 25 years after the events of the last film, Bogus Journey. Bill and Ted's fame has eluded them, but they have not quite given up on the hope that they will write the big song that will fulfill their destiny and unite the world. But now the future has just informed them that if they don't write the song and unite the world, reality itself will cease to exist. But now they're middle-aged and have daughters of their own and have been trying to write this song all of their lives. After regaining their old time machine, they decide to travel to the future and get the song from their future selves who must have already written it. While Face the Music is not without charm, Paraso seems to understand how to balance the whimsy, the cheese, and make the humor work with some of the same spirit of the first film. Reeves and Winter, of course, have most of the heavy lifting, as they have to make us believe that Bill and Ted are still the same clueless San Dimas stoners, even though they're middle-aged. I'm not sure how much acting they had to do, but they nailed it. The rest of the cast helped to bring the adventure along. Many original cast members returned for the fun, including William Sadler as Death from Bogus Journey, as well as the late George Carlin, who was reproduced as a hologram of Rufus. Joining the cast are Samara Weaving and Bridget Lundy Payne as Bill and Ted's daughters Thea and Billy, who do an excellent job. Kristen Schaal is also fun. Holland Taylor joins the cast. And there's a really cool appearance by Kid Cudi, who in my opinion may get the award for best cameo ever. He has some scene-stealing technobabble scenes that would humble any Star Trek cast member. Face the Music doesn't have a lot of depth, but if you know this franchise, you shouldn't be looking for much. It's silly, it's dumb, and it's fun. This is one you might want to see in the theater now, only because it's cheaper there if you go by yourself and don't get popcorn or a drink. And don't take an Uber or a Lyft.
Oh, hey. So, this is a monitor. So I guess it's okay if I share some of the Facebook posts I see on a daily basis. I check my phone maybe 2 or 3 times a day on Facebook just to see what my friends are doing and to see what interesting posts pop up. If you'd like to comment about any of the posts I just shared here today, feel free to comment below. Other than that, that's going to do it here for today's episode of The Monitors. Hope you liked what you saw today. If you did, please click that subscribe button and come back and see us. In the meantime, you guys, be good to each other, be good to yourself, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.